anything that we could do to save time, it's gonna benefit and we're gonna be more efficient.
That's been the struggle for Carver County. We're so growing very rapidly in this state. Um, Exponentially, the numbers that we're serving are going up, and budgets are tough in times, and we're not going to probably going to get that level of personnel that we need. So we've got to find internally more efficiencies that we can do this type of stuff, and then maximize the social workers' time with the clients.
One of the big challenges, even before COVID, I would say, was getting signatures back from clients. A lot of clients would try to get would try to sign off on stuff digitally, but because of the format that our form was in, oftentimes it was in Adobe in some form or PDF of some kind, and they didn't have, like, it didn't mesh with their programming maybe that they had at home or their computer system they had at home. So they had a hard time digitally signing that stuff. They usually ended up, from my understanding, having to print stuff off themselves on their end, sign it physically, and then scan it back to us, which really kind of negates the whole idea of digital signatures.
Prior to this, we used a completely different program that was not as organized as Traverse was. And our annual paperwork had to be printed off, filled out, then mailed out. So it took like 2 weeks for annual paperwork to be completed and then sent back to you, and that was on a good day. So the main issue with all of that was the time frames, especially due to COVID. We aren't seeing people in person. So in order for us to renew services in the home, we need the paperwork back before we can renew services. So if we didn't have that paperwork mailed back to us, or if there was mailing delays, then their services were also delayed, which then in the home is causing behaviors and disruptions and sometimes hospitalizations. So yeah, it was a nightmare.
With Traverse Connect, I think that overall it's been a huge time saver, and it's a much smoother process and much more organized. Now everything is electronic and it's all in one place. So I send those forms out, I receive them back in the same place, I save them in the same place. You don't get any better than that. Everything is based on time, correct? So the sooner that we can receive the paperwork back and let the provider know that the plan is approved, they can in turn do the paperwork that they need to do on their end. It doesn't slow up their process. So if the family's process goes faster, our process goes faster, then the provider process goes faster. Then it doesn't hold up services, and they can move on to the next task that they need to. So we're not slowing anybody down.
If it's a form that needs to be signed, it's super easy to link the collaborator. But yeah, it literally takes like 30 seconds to a minute to add a collaborator to the person's case, and then it's super easy from there. Once they do fill it out and send it back, you don't even have to worry about e-filing it because it's already done for you. You just click finish.
It goes to the parent, it comes back to us, and then we can finish it off with the provider. So instead of waiting 2 months, it takes 2 days. So it's just a complete smooth process, and no one's waiting. Like, it's more time efficient, and we're not bugging anyone to get the paperwork done. And the parents have more time to focus on what's really important, their kids and their family, and not worrying about filling out this paperwork.
How we are operating and dealing with clients and the rules and laws and forms are completely different than 5 years ago, and it's going to evolve and be completely different in the future. But I think that pace is speeding up. I think about every 3 years we're seeing a massive transformation in how we do things, what we do, and stuff like that. When we have a very solid, secure electronic case file system and way of communicating with a portal or a connect with our clients, it's going to make it easier to implement and adopt those changes. So when we look at, we know we're going to have to do 1,400 assessments a year, or we know we're going to have, 1,200 open waiver cases and stuff. We can start planning for that, and then using this to like make sure that we've got the correct forms in place, that we've got the correct process. So it helps us with the overall program administration. It's going to be an excellent tool to build off of.
We went with Northwoods because we were so impressed with your customer service. We had an opportunity to go out and look at other types of electronic file, and Northwoods surpassed every single one of them with your web-based product, with your customer service, and that to us was one of the most important pieces, because it feels like you understand the world of social work and how chaotic it can be, and you're trying to find ways to really support us. And we didn't feel that from other companies.